this video, we'll be continuing to take a look at some Darth Maul action figures from the Phantom Menace line, and we're continuing with the Tatooine Darth Maul during his duel with Qui-Gon as they're making their escape from Tatooine. I used to own this action figure years ago. For whatever reason, I decided to sell it. I think it's because I was trying to scale back on the amount of action figures I have, and at this point, of course, I already had the TVC Darth Maul and a few others as well. So I thought, well, this isn't one of the best Darth Mauls out there, so I'll just go ahead and sell them. But fast forward to now, and I was like, I really do want to own this Darth Maul in my collection. He's really cool, so I'll go ahead and get him again, and I'm glad I have him now. It's not the best Darth Maul out there, like I said, but, it's pretty good, and for the price point, you really can't complain. Another Phantom Menace action figure that's basically $10 or less. And over the years, I think it holds up pretty good. So this is the very first Darth Maul I think we got where he actually has his full robes and his hood up. First action figure of him, that is. And it's pretty good. Facial likeness is okay. It definitely is not one of the best Mauls out there. But, you can look at him and think, yeah, that's Darth Maul. So we'll look a little closer at the figure here in a minute. Take a look at his package here first. Pretty standard episode 1 packaging. Another image of Maul there. I don't think that one's really from the film, but they tried. It's Darth Maul Tatooine with cloak and lightsaber. I think the cloak is probably the main attraction about this. General descriptions again, characterization about him, and some of the lines with the Comtech chip. Now it says it interacts with Darth Sidious, Jedi, Nute Gunray, and Rune Akko. And I did review the 2 Neomodians on the channel recently, so I'm going to have to see if I can get this guy to interact with the 2 of them. A little description about the Comtech reader. Then featuring basically all the core cast again, and then a few other action figures on top of that. And I did previously review this Darth Maul. Recommend checking that out. And he does have a fairly large bubble as well. A lot more than many of the other Phantom Menace figures. Let's take a closer look at this guy. So the likeness to Maul is kind of there. I think the way they did his robes are pretty good. It does have that what do they call that? Basically like plated, or it does have that particular design to his robes that we see in the film. Pleated, that's the word. Which is accurate to Maul's robes. It does have very unique Sith robes. Something we never really see on any other characters. Because of his robes, though, basically covering his entire action figure, he's kind of restricted in what he can do. He can move his arms and move his legs and his waist a little bit, but other than that, there's really not a whole lot you can do. Again, similar to the last Maul I reviewed, the Jedi Duel one, he does have a little bit of that deteriorating plastic about him. You can tell by the glossiness there, so I'm going to have to give him the baby powder treatment too. But he's not quite as sticky as the other one. So in terms of his articulation, he technically has a swivel at the neck there, but because of his hood, you can't really articulate that of any sorts. I think it's one of those articulated points where the hood or the entire robes actually in the head are all molded as one piece, and then you could just pop the head off, but it would take the whole robe with him, and then the body's a separate piece. He does have swivel shoulders there, and swivel elbows. He does not have swivel forearms or or wrist though, which is kind of unfortunate. You can kind of get him to hold his lightsaber with 2 hands, but it's not the best angle to be working with. He does have a swivel waist, yeah, and then swivel hips, and that's it. So not too bad articulation. It's good enough, especially for the time. In terms of his weapons and accessories, very light. Just has his lightsaber with only one blade ignited. Totally absent on the other end. It's to stimulate his duel with Qui-Gon. But he does hold it well in his hand. And then if you work with it a little bit, you can get him to hold it with 2 hands. So let's see what his voice lines are.
At last we will reveal ourselves to the Jedi. At last we will have revenge. It's the Jedi.
It's the Jedi. The way he says that, I think, is kind of funny.
At last we will reveal ourselves to the Jedi. At last we will have revenge.
I would think that would be one entire line instead of separating it in 2, but I guess he technically has 3 different lines. It's pretty good. Overall, I'm very happy with this action figure. It's nice to reacquire it in my collection. Would I recommend it for yours? Sure, I would. I mean, for being $10 or less, generally, it's a pretty good Darth Maul. Is it the end-all to be-all Darth Maul to have for your collection? Probably not at this point. But, you know, if you're a big fan of Darth Maul like I am, it's a nice action figure to have. I'm happy to have him. It's just a really unique Darth Maul. Not too often we get it where his robes are molded with him like this, and then his hood is molded with him, and it's just a very unique Darth Maul overall. Very happy with it. Happy to reacquire it in my collection. But anyways, that concludes this review. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for plenty more reviews in the future. There'll always be more to come. If you haven't already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I always appreciate all your support. And check out some links in the description if you have not done so already. As always, thanks for watching.